friends, how are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I'm pretty good. I've just been trying to catch up on my reading. I'm a little behind. I've got quite a stack of manga from these hauls that is just sitting in my bedroom on my TBR shelf, ready to be read and whittled down just a little bit. I get a little overwhelmed if I have too much on my TBR shelf. I try to keep it down to like minimal 15 volumes sitting on it, and that's even pushing it personally. My husband's a little different. He'll keep a few on there for like a long time because he doesn't read as fast as I do, and also it's not like his main hobby. So yeah, I've been trying to whittle down some of my volumes. This is one that I picked up because my husband said that he thought I would like it. And then I thought about it for a while and I was like, maybe it does sound really good. I'm not sure. And then some other YouTubers were talking about how crazy it was. So I was like, I guess I gotta pick it up. And that is PTSD Radio. This is by Masaaki Nakayama. Sorry if I butchered that name, but I'm trying, okay? Trying my best. I'm gonna read you the synopsis of this one because not many people really know what it's about. An unseen hand tugs at your braid. You find an old sealed box with a tangled mess of dark hair inside. In the hallway outside your room, a river of curls is slinking away, an ominous lump at its heart. It won't be long before you feel Oguchi-sama's fingers slithering across your scalp. Before it's too late, tune into PTSD Radio. This is of course rated 18+ because it is a horror. I like this a lot, y'all. Like with my new rating system, I'm gonna struggle to tell you about it, but I'm gonna do my best to give you an accurate reading of what I thought of it. I think this deserves a lot more hype than it's getting, so here we go. First, we're gonna go off art style. I've flipped through this a few times along with I have the second volume ready to go. It does have kind of an older style, not necessarily Junji Ito. A lot thicker, heavier lines going on here. It's not as intricately detailed until you get to like a very dramatic panel, if that makes sense. Like the ones that they're just walking from place to place, it's a little more basic. I mean, granted, when I say basic, I don't mean boring or bland. I just mean they don't put a lot of background into it until it's like the focus of the panel. We are given a story with jumping around. This jumps around a lot. I think that the art style fits the vibe this goes for. I know I keep using that word, but the art style fits perfectly with what's trying to be told here. I think it's creepy enough, but also not inherently creepy, if that makes sense. I feel like Junji Ito's artwork's a little bit more just inherently creepy. So before you even really get into the story, you're kind of ooged out because it's just made to make you feel unsettled. I think that's the whole point he goes for. This doesn't necessarily make me feel that way. I feel like I'm reading just a samurai old story that also goes into modern time. This does jump between different timelines. If you're not familiar with that, that's what this is doing. It goes back and forth, forward, backward, around, all different timelines. Just be aware of that before you pick it up. I could see that being very overwhelming for some people. I know that a lot of people don't like that. They like a very linear storyline. This doesn't do that. So if you're okay with that kind of thing, try it out. Art style, I would give it 4 stars. I think it's unique and fun, and when it's creepy, it's very creepy and unsettling. As far as the theme, I think that the whole theme of this, I don't want to spoil it for you because none of it was spoiled for me, and I don't want to ruin that for you. So I'm just gonna have to give you my ranking and be very vague on it, so I hope you'll forgive me for that. The themes of this, it's not entirely clear yet. This contains 2 volumes within it. Right now, as far as my understanding, the theme is about, I'm just gonna have to rate it. I give it a 4. A 4 for the theme. It's not just horror to scare you. There is a reason that this stuff is happening, and you'll find out, I think, at the end of this 2-volume collection right here, what the whole point of this creature or monster or monsters is. So I would give that a 4. It's fairly typical for that plot point to be in a manga, so it's not like the most unique idea, but it is a uniquely way to go about that theme. Characters. Most of the characters in here, we're just seeing snippets of their life. It's not necessarily about a specific character from what I can tell. That might change. We'll see how it goes into the 3rd and 4th volume. But right now we're kind of just experiencing a timeline of different people who are experiencing horrifying things, and it's because of something in the end that is following them, okay? Maybe that's not too spoilery. If it is, I'm very sorry, but I'm trying really hard not to spoil this for you. But I think that's okay, maybe. Anyways, I haven't found out what the PTSD radio is for exactly. I don't know what that means. This was not brought into the story yet, but I do know like what is happening to the people now, and I really like it. I think that if we're gonna go off of the characters themselves, they're kind of boring, honestly. They're just people, like regular people like me, which if you're reading a story about regular people can tend to be pretty boring if they're not exaggerated within a story. So for now I'm gonna give them a 2 because they're just people. They're not really meant to be the center of the story. So we will see if that changes. I don't feel like it will because this is a horror story that involves these people. They're kind of just victims. They're not really the center of attention here. So yeah, 2 stars. The story thus far, I really like it. I'm gonna give it a 4 just because it's a lot of fun. I think that horror can be fun to me. I know that some people might think that's messed up. If you're a horror fan like me, you get it. And I think that this has a lot of potential within it if it does get continued. I heard that the mangaka has been on an indefinite hiatus. I'm not quite sure why. I've heard rumors about them experiencing things that are within these volumes, which is kind of odd knowing a little bit of it now. I don't know how that works, but I'll have to do some research to see what exactly is the reason if they've given one. But either way, I'm glad I picked out what I got, but I just want to warn you about that before you go and invest a lot of money if you're the kind of person who doesn't want to pick up a series just because they've stopped writing it. Because who knows, they could just completely stop and never finish the story. But I hope they do. I hope they eventually let us know how this ends. If not, I guess it's just like a really short story about the way these people's lives are being ruined. But yeah, 4 stars for the story thus far. I can't spoil too much for you, but just know that this does jump timelines from like samurai times all the way to modern day and in between as well. The overall wow factor. I guess when I think about the overall wow factor of this manga, I'm gonna give it a 5 because I wasn't completely like, whoa, when I read it, okay? That's not necessarily what I'm thinking 5-star for this one. When I think of that, I'm like, I could not put this down. I picked it up when I had nothing to do one day and I read through it very quickly because it was just so addictive and I had to know what was gonna happen on the next page because it just kept me hungry for more. So I think that 5 stars fits for me. It may not be for everyone for sure, but I do recommend this if you're a horror fan or if you just want something really creepy. I do think that the antagonist, I guess you could call it, so far kind of looks phallic. If you know what I'm talking about, it's hilarious to me to see him, but you know, or it, whatever it is. Yeah, I liked it. I think that most people should try this at least once. All right guys, I guess that's gonna be it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed my review and we'll consider checking it out if you're a horror fan like me. I think the cover is a lot of fun and the second one's also really fun too. I'm not sure what the radio part has to do with anything. Maybe eventually I'll find out. I don't know, but it's cool. So give it a try, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Hope you guys have a fantastic day and see you later. Bye guys.